As we mentioned at the top of the show, 5 members of Canada's 2018 World Junior Hockey team have been told to surrender to police regarding an alleged group sex assault in London, Ontario, according to a report from the Globe and Mail. Sports commentator Rod Black joins us now to discuss. Rod, this is quite the development in the story. What more can you tell us?
Well, I think what everybody knows is it is a report that is out there. And again, the police have asked that 5 players surrender themselves to police. Again, nothing has been said from the London Police Department. They are going to have a news conference on February 5th. But a lot of people are connecting the dots, which we have to be very careful of doing at this point. But again, a lot of this is allegedly, as we all know, and people are innocent until proven guilty. We always have to remember that. But the fact is, this thing has been ongoing since 2018, as we all know, from the incident in London. And, you know, when you talk about innocence or guilt, the fact that Hockey Canada paid out $3.5 million to the victim, the alleged victim back then, we know that there is something here. And so the next few days are going to be very interesting. There are 5 players who have not been named. Again, people are connecting dots because some players have taken leave of absences. They are professional hockey players now. That's how long this has gone on. It's gone on, let's put it this way, far too long, but it looks like perhaps as this case goes on, justice is going to be served.
Rod, I think a lot of people are also wondering, what is this request to surrender? What does that mean exactly? Does that mean charges in this case? Are they likely?
Well, again, I think everybody who is reporting that is saying that. The London police, again, have not said that. I would suggest that because of the players of where they are, that is why they are surrendering. If that was somebody else in public today, any other person, the police would probably knock on your door and issue an arrest warrant or take you into custody and, charge you with whatever that may be. So I think we still have to be very careful. It's early going, but I would suggest that indeed 5 players are going to be charged with sexual assault.
And then can we assume, Rod, their names will be made public? Because as you mentioned, we do know of a handful of players who play in the NHL who have now taken temporary leaves, yes.
Who have made millions of dollars over the last 5 years.
Yes. And so if they are formally charged at this point, because they have been, throughout all of this, their names have not been made public. They have not been accused officially of anything. So can we assume at that time then, if they are formally charged, the names will be public?
Yes, I would assume that for sure. And I think then we're getting to obviously some heavy litigation, court cases, lawyers. I think a lot of people are quiet right now. You haven't heard anything from the National Hockey League that yesterday announced that there's a possibility of a new team coming in and some acts that are coming to the NHL All-Star Game, which next week, by the way, is in Toronto. So everyone is being very quiet. I think everyone is reacting. A lot of people will ask, why did it take so long? And perhaps one of the reasons is this was so mishandled. I've talked to you guys before about this. This was so mishandled from the beginning in so many areas, from Hockey Canada, certainly in the way that it came out. And then, of course, the way they handled it with the court case and the civil lawsuit. And then, the conspiracy of silence that seemed to exist for such a long time. People thought, okay, well, we're going to, get a new board of directors for Hockey Canada. Everything will be good again. I would tell anybody to Google sexual conduct or sexual assault and hockey players in Canada. And you're going to go back over almost 40, 50 years of seeing how many cases like this there have been. This is not new. This should never happen again. And maybe this is why it's taken so long to come up with a formal charge, is because they have been doing an investigation. And because they mishandled it at the beginning, it looks like, perhaps now we're getting to the more formal process. And if those 5 players are guilty, that has been lingering in the back of their minds for a long time.
Rod, you mentioned the change at the top of at Hockey Canada. Wondering, has there been a change in the way that they are operating and doing things? Have we heard from Hockey Canada at all in regards to these latest developments?
Not yet. I would expect that you're going to get an announcement possibly today or in the next 24 hours. I would assume that they're trying. Again, this is one report from the Globe and Mail, and everybody has jumped onto that report. And there are obviously a lot of people trying to come to some conclusions. I think that we have to let law and order take over here and due process. Hockey Canada they have made significant changes since the governmental inquiry. The whole executive board was wiped away. They've got a new board there. They've got new people. They've got new rules in place. They have to make more rules. They have to make sure this doesn't happen again. Sports is supposed to be a recreation, an outlet. It should be a safe place and a great environment. It shouldn't be a place where a young boy or girl feels unsafe or other people around athletes feel unsafe. And the more that I think there's a very dark cloud hanging over this right now. The best news is let's get a ray of light in here. Let's get to the bottom of this story. Let's find out and let's make sure this never, ever happens again.
All right, let's leave it there. Rod Black, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.